Hello students, under Superclass Tetrapoda we have completed class Amphibia. Now let us start with class Reptilia. Class Reptilia. Repere or reptum means to crawl. These animals have their primary mode of locomotion as creeping or crawling. All the animals that belong to class Reptilia are known as reptiles. Name some common reptiles that you know of. The lizard, snakes, crocodiles, tortoise, turtles, iguanas. Did you know that the dinosaurs were also reptiles? How are the reptiles different from the amphibians is the main focus of this study. The Pisces were entirely in water, but the amphibians were able to come out of the water onto the land, but they were still dependent on water for laying their eggs, isn't it? Their eggs were not covered by the shell, so they had to return to water. Amphibians also needed to be near water since they had moist skin. They need to respire through their skin as well. Lungs are present but not very well developed. The reptiles have taken care of all these difficulties. They have adapted to a complete terrestrial life. They don't even need to come back to water to lay their eggs because their eggs are covered by shell. They will not be desiccated if they are laid on land. And their skin is not moist like the amphibians. It's very dry and very cornified kind of a skin that they have. So they are adapted to live an entirely terrestrial life. The reptiles. Habitat is terrestrial, most of them, but few aquatic forms are also present. For example, crocodiles, turtles, sea snakes. They will be in water only in search of food. They will be laying their eggs outside water on the land itself. They don't need to lay their eggs in water. Most of the reptiles are carnivorous except tortoise, which is omnivorous. Let us look at the adaptations for terrestrial life. First adaptation, they have a dry, cornified, non-glandular skin. Okay, cornified means what? With a lot of keratin, keratinized, and non-glandular, very unlike the amphibians which had a moist, glandular, smooth skin for cutaneous respiration. But in this case, since they are entirely terrestrial, they have a very dry, non-glandular kind of skin. There will be no cutaneous respiration. They will be entirely depending on pulmonary respiration, which will be very much advanced in them, unlike the amphibians, which will be covered by epidermal scales, as in case of snakes, or scutes, which will be large-sized plates of keratin. They will be called as scutes to prevent water loss. Second adaptation that is seen is pentadactyl limbs with claws. Compare these with those of the amphibians. In the amphibians, the digits did not have claws. Okay, they had soft paddings. The toads did have cornified toes, but there were no claws. In case of reptiles, the digits have claws. Very important, the eggs are covered by calcareous shells. The eggs are covered by calcareous shells. These eggs of reptiles are self-sufficient. They have enough amount of food supply. They have enough amount of water supply, gas supply inside the egg itself. The embryo does not need to come out of the egg at all. Okay, it can come out only after complete development. Unlike the amphibians, in which the tadpole larva had to come in the water for food, for water, for gas exchange, for removal of waste, etc. But these eggs, these are self-sufficient. They will have enough amount of food, water, gas, everything that the embryo needs to become mature and come out of the egg. Okay, such kind of eggs are called as Cleidoic eggs. Okay, the ones in fishes and amphibians were non-Cleidoic eggs, which was an important adaptation in reptiles to enable them to live a terrestrial life. Cleidoic eggs, self-sufficient eggs, all supplies of food, water, gas, etc. Reptiles are known to show the process of ecdysis. It is periodic shedding of the cornified skin, because this cornified skin that the reptiles have, it does not undergo growth. Okay, it remains as it is. So what does the reptile do? It will form a new layer of skin and shed the old skin layer. Shedding of old skin. This behavior is shown by all the reptiles. Limbs. They have forelimbs and hind limbs. Both of them are pentadactyl with claws. Snakes do not have limbs, and in turtles, limbs modified to flippers. Ears In amphibians also there was an inner ear and middle ear was present, and the outer side of the middle ear, that is the tympanum, was seen from the outside. The ear was represented by the tympanum. Same in case of reptiles as well. The inner ear and a middle ear will be developed with the tympanum representing the ear from outside. Tympanum represents ear. External ear is absent. External ears that we have is present only in class Mammalia. It's absent in aves also. Let's talk about their skeleton. They will have a bony endoskeleton. Their rib cage and all is very much more developed than that of the amphibians. The frog and all did not even have a rib cage properly. As such, it could not expand its lungs very well, because for expansion of lungs, the lungs need to be associated with the rib cage and its muscles, which are called as the intercostal muscles, which are not there in case of the frogs. But in case of the reptiles, a properly formed rib cage is present with the intercostal muscles. The lungs are associated with the intercostal muscles, which help it in proper expanding and relaxing. As such, pulmonary respiration will be very much developed in reptiles, okay, compared to that of amphibians. That rib cage well developed with intercostal muscles. Next, skull. Skull in case of amphibians was dicondylic. In case of reptiles and birds, it is monocondylic. I've already explained in the last lecture what is monocondylic and dicondylic. Dicondylic skull has two condyles, okay, which rest on atlas, okay, the first vertebra of the vertebral column. In monocondylic skull, there is just one condyle that rests on the atlas vertebra. Do they have atlas? Yes, they will have the atlas vertebra, and they will have the axis and the other cervical vertebrae as well. Atlas and axis present. Okay, mainly you have to know that axis is present in them, which was not present in case of the amphibians. Next, respiration. As we discussed, rib cage is properly formed, so lungs are properly formed in them. That's the only mode of respiration in the reptiles. Pulmonary respiration. There will be no cutaneous respiration, no buccopharyngeal and no branchial respiration. There is only pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration only. Pulmonary means through lungs. Next we talk about circulatory system. You know that the amphibians had a 3-chambered heart with 2 auricles and 1 ventricle, which was leading to incomplete double circulation, and there was mixing of the blood, mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, which was giving rise to mixed blood that was being supplied to the different parts of its body. Now, what is the case in case of reptiles? The reptiles are also known to have a 3-chambered heart with 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. However, there will be formation of an incomplete septum, which has not fully formed. In us, it is fully formed, which gives rise to 2 ventricle chambers there, and that's why our heart is 4-chambered with properly divided left and right halves, and there is no mixing of the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood. However, here they have 2 auricles and 1 ventricle with an incomplete septum. Their heart is 3-chambered, 2 atria are present, and 1 ventricle with an incomplete septum. Some people like to call this a 3.5-chambered heart, but that is inaccurate. It's still a 3-chambered heart with 1 ventricle with an incompletely formed septum. There is incomplete double circulation. There is mixing of blood. That's why this heart is called as atriovenous heart. However, crocodile, which is kind of a higher reptile, that one has this chamber completely formed in them, and that's why the heart of crocodile is a 4-chambered heart with complete double circulation, no mixing of blood. Crocodile has a 4-chambered heart, septum completely formed, no mixing of blood. This point is very, very important for NEET point of view, and this also 3-chambered heart. The RBCs in case of reptiles are said to be nucleated RBCs, nucleated and they are oval. Our RBCs are biconcave and enucleated without a nucleus. We will stop here with the general characteristics of class Reptilia. We will continue with the general characteristics in the next video.
In the name of Lord Mahadev, please subscribe.